Welcome to the channel. This is Waga. We're going to do another Leetcode question, and the question in question today is 187 repeated DNA sequences, right? So you're given all DNA is composed of the 4 nucleotides, which is A, C, G, and T. And when studying DNA, you're supposed to identify, in this case, let me just explain what the problem does rather than reading it. Saves us on time, right? So we have a string that you'll be given of DNA. You're supposed to find subsequences of the DNA that repeat each other, and we're supposed to find 10 letter long subsequences. So in this case, they want us to find the ones that repeat, right? So in this case, we would get the first 10 letters. We would maybe get A, C, 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 C to the point where I'm guessing there, over there. That would be the first. Let's assume that's 10. We're not going to count all the characters, but let's assume that's 10, right? And then the next one is going to be, the next subsequence is going to be maybe from the second letter we go all the way to maybe here. Maybe that's the next 10, right? So how we're going to solve this problem, if in order to find the ones that are repeated, is we could start off with a dictionary, right? So we start off with a dictionary and we store each value with a key, right? So whenever we re-encounter it or we encounter it again, we add the key, the value in the key value pair. The key is going to be the subsequence, or the sequence in this case, right? And the value is going to be start off as maybe 1, right? So when we encounter it again, we're going to increase the value by 1, and at the end of it, we're going to return the keys whose values is greater than 1, right? So basically that's what you're going to do. Work. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to build our dictionary, and we're just going to use this one. You could use the default dictionary from collections if you want, but we're going to use that one, right? Now the next thing we need to do is we need to loop, and remember, we need to consider at least 10, is it characters or elements or nucleotides, right? We need to consider at least 10 nucleotides. That means that if we come to a situation where we have less than 10 nucleotides, we do not include them, we do not count them, right? So for example, if we were to come, we're not going to consider the last 9 characters, count 9 from here, like we're not going to consider the last 9 characters, or let's say these are 9, as a potential solution. They have to be at least 10. So when we are looping through, we are going to go all the way to the length of s minus 9, right? Because of that. So we could say for, okay, let's just type here, let's come here and say for x in the range we're going to look at is going to be the length of s, and we're going to go all the way to minus 9, like so, right? So we go all the way to the length of s minus 9, and what we want to do, we want to check if s, and we want to take the first 10 elements, right? We want to take the first 10 elements. So when you write x plus 10 here, it means that the 10th element wouldn't be considered, and because you're counting from a 0-based index, this will be the first 10 elements, right? So we get the first 10 elements, and what we check is if it's in our dictionary, right? So we check if not in dict, right? And if it's not there, we initialize it at 0, and then afterwards we add 1 to it, right? So we could say dict like so, and we're just going to take s, and we want the first 10 elements, right? So we do x plus 10 like that, and we want the value to be 0 at the beginning, and regardless we want to increase the value by 1, right? So we could just copy this, and this is if we have not found it, but now in this case, regardless, we want to increase the value by 1, right? So we say plus equals, and we increase the value by 1, right? And after we increase the value by 1, it will go through all this and arrange all our possible 10 nucleotides, and what we want to do next outside the for loop is to return the ones that are more than the value in the key value pair is more than 10, right? So for that we just hit return, and what we want to do is return in an array k for kv, where k can be the key, right? For kv in dict dot items, this will give us the key value pairs, right? So, and we want this k if the value is greater than 1, right? So these are the key value pairs. We go into our dictionary, we search for k for kv if in our dictionary, if the value is greater than 1, right? So we only return the multiples, right? The ones that are 2 and more, right? So if we run our code, hopefully I've not made any errors. It's accepted and we submit it. it is accepted similarly. Okay, so our time complexity is going to be we loop through our entire array, and our time complexity is going to be O of n, and our space complexity is similarly going to be O of n, right? Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.